and it'll become familiar to you. And the process then creates a new identity. And it's not difficult once you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And the more you combine all those different branches of science and make it in a simple way to understand, if people understand the what and the why, the how gets easier because you can assign meaning to what you're doing and it becomes instrumental. So get a group of people, 1,000 people, 1,500 people, 2,000 people into a room, teach them that information, whether they're coming for wealth, their health, a relationship, a new career, a mystical experience. Get them all together and teach them and measure what can take place in a 1 week period of time. And I assure you, that's more than 75% of the people that go through and go all in and retreat from their lives and remove the same stimulation from their environment and not be in the same conditions and teach them that information and give them numerous opportunities to apply it and numerous opportunities to get beyond themselves. All you need is that first person that stands on the stage and says, hey, I walked in here with Parkinson's disease. I have no idea what happened, but I'm not trembling anymore. And boy, that last thing, just something clicked for me. And the person in the audience was watching the 4-minute mile right in front of them and going, wow, that guy looks like he's not a vegan. He doesn't look like he's particularly in shape, but his Parkinson's went away. And wow, I mean, if he could do it, I could do it. And somebody else changes their belief. And now that's a footprint in consciousness. Get enough people doing that. By the end of the week, you're going to see things. We've seen blind people seeing, deaf people hearing, not once, not twice.
Really?
We've seen people with strokes for 10 years lift their arms up again. We've seen people step out of wheelchairs, people on crutches, drop their crutches. I mean, you see the body literally recalibrates to a new mind. And they're not intentionally trying to do anything. They're just becoming somebody else. But the process of overcoming is the process of becoming. And if you teach people that formula and you get just 1 or 2 people doing it, it's just going to become an infection.
Did you ever wonder if there is an easy and specific formula to manifest whatever we want? The answer is yes. When it's not about having lots of stuff anymore, but about making changes in life, what do I need to do differently? The more I change, the more I'll have good things. Just sit down, close your eyes, and see what thoughts come to mind. That's why you might not have good things in life. Think about it in your mind, feel it in your heart, and watch your life start to change. Can we heal ourselves just by thinking and meditating? My beliefs have changed a lot in the last 2 years because of what I've seen. I saw a guy with muscular dystrophy who doctors said couldn't get better, but he did. When you get sick, you rely on doctors to help you, but if that doesn't work, you have to look for other answers. Some people just accept being average, but others keep searching for ways to get better. For example, a lady got a book by accident and started doing the meditations in it. She had Parkinson's disease, but after a while, she was completely better. I've also seen tough soldiers with health problems heal themselves because they want to help others too. Once you heal yourself, you want to help others heal too. People do it every day, even though they're far apart. They don't even know the person they're helping, but they can still make them better. Our research collaboration with UC San Diego is incredible. I asked the scientists, when did you ever think you'd be discussing how distant healing can be as effective as, or even better than drugs? Our data strongly suggests it's real. We conducted a thorough study, and there's no doubt these healings are having profound effects. We recently published another paper on how the hearts of people in groups synchronize mathematically when they come together. It sounds complex, but it's real. There's something happening in their hearts. They're feeling the same love, resonating at the same frequency. Let me tell you about a remarkable study we did with autistic children. These were boys aged between 6 and 12 who had tried all kinds of therapies without much improvement. They were struggling with various issues like sleep problems, obsessions, and difficulties with language and socializing. Instead of traditional scientific analysis, we let the parents, who know their children best, observe the kids closely. After just 6 weeks, these kids were speaking in sentences, sleeping well, and showing improvements in many areas. Their parents were ecstatic. Their lives had changed drastically because their kids were changing too, even when they weren't in the same room. This whole journey is about evolving our understanding. New experiences open up new possibilities we never thought of before. It's an ongoing process of self-discovery, constantly asking ourselves, who am I? We've found that the most desperate people are often the least responsive initially because they're waiting for healing to make them grateful. But it's actually gratitude that kickstarts the healing process. Those who are actively working on self-improvement or are genuinely grateful tend to respond better to healing energy. It's like matter changing matter. Everyone's trying to improve their lives in some way. All right, let's break down what abundance means to some people. It's about getting as much stuff as possible, right? Well, that's fine, but let's figure out how to actually create that abundance. Here's the deal. You need to feel the emotions of having what you want before it actually happens. If you can shift your focus away from what's happening around you and understand that it's your thoughts and feelings that shape your reality, you're on to something. When your heart beats in a certain rhythm, it sends a message to your brain that it's safe to start creating. This puts you in a state where you're open to new ideas and opportunities. Now, here's the cool part. If your energy matches what you want from the universe and you're feeling abundant, you're more likely to attract it. It's like tuning into a specific radio station. Your frequency needs to match what you're trying to bring into your life. But here's where it gets tricky. Most people wait to feel grateful until after they've achieved their goals. That's backward thinking. You've got to feel grateful now, even before you see results. Your heart is like a powerful transmitter. It sends out signals based on what you're feeling. If you're stuck in feelings of lack or suffering, you'll keep attracting more of the same. So, just saying I'm abundant won't cut it if your body isn't on the same page. Now let's take it up a notch. Imagine practicing this mindset like you would practice a sport or a dance move. You've got to really feel those abundant emotions, not just with your eyes closed, but with them wide open. Why? Because when you're truly feeling those emotions, you're living in the reality where you're already abundant. You're not waiting for it to happen. You're already there. So, if you're feeling abundant, why would you keep searching for it? So, our main goal is to keep our minds and bodies in that positive state we've worked so hard to achieve. But does that mean you should check your bank account tomorrow and expect to see $1 million in there? Nope. Instead, keep focusing on the potential for good things to happen. When you start noticing those little signs in your life, what we call synchronicities, it's like the universe is giving you a thumbs up saying, hey, whatever you're doing, keep it up. You're onto something. It's crucial to remember that we're the ones in charge of our lives, not just victims of our circumstances. Think about it. When things aren't going well, do you blame external factors like other people or your bank account? That's what being a victim is all about, letting outside stuff control how you feel and think. And the more we dwell on what we lack, the more we attract of the same. It's like a vicious cycle that wears us down. So here's the experiment. Let's try creating from a different place, from that energy field around us. When our hearts and minds are in sync, we enter this super creative state where anything seems possible. The longer we stay focused on that positive energy, the more we draw good things towards us. And when those synchronicities start popping up, maybe you get a promotion or meet the right person at just the right time. It's like a signal to keep going. These little wins build momentum, leading to even more abundance. But remember, it's not just about meditating for an hour and then forgetting about it the rest of the day. We have to live and breathe that positive energy in everything we do. Now, if you want to change your life, you've got to change yourself first. Your thoughts, actions, and feelings, they all make up who you are. So if you want a different reality, you've got to tweak your personality a bit. Sounds simple, right? Well, it's not always easy, considering 95% of who we are operates on autopilot. But hey, small changes can lead to big results. Our minds are like a computer with lots of pre-programmed thoughts, beliefs, and reactions. These are mostly unconscious, meaning we do them automatically without even thinking about it. But if 95% of who we are is just these automatic programs, then the first step to changing ourselves is to become aware of them. When we start trying to make changes in our lives, those old thoughts might pop up like, "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work." But just because we have those thoughts doesn't mean they're true. We need to be curious about what's beyond those thoughts and keep moving forward. If we keep ignoring those negative thoughts, they'll lose their power over us. Instead of being controlled by our brains, we can take charge and use our brains in a better way. For example, if we're always complaining about money or rushing when we feel like we don't have enough, we need to recognize those habits and break them. But here's the big challenge. If we want to change our lives, we have to let go of all the old stories we tell ourselves. We can't keep carrying around feelings of unworthiness or blaming our past. We have to let go of those old patterns and start fresh. The problem is, many of us wake up in the morning and immediately start thinking about our problems. But by doing that, we're just keeping ourselves stuck in the past. Every time we think about those old problems, we're reinforcing them in our minds. Our bodies are really good at holding on to these old emotions, even if our lives are changing. So, if we're still feeling lack or anxiety, even when things are going well, it's because our bodies are stuck in the past. We need to break free from those old patterns and start living in the present. When someone starts noticing that all their friends are making money and doing exciting things, they might feel like they're lacking something. But here's the important part. When it's no longer about just wanting more money or success, but about what changes we need to make within ourselves, that's a real turning point. I've seen many people over the years who've overcome serious health issues like cancer or Parkinson's. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just about wanting to get better. It was about asking, what do I need to change to heal? It's the same with abundance. It's not just about wanting more stuff. It's about changing ourselves to attract it. So, instead of constantly wondering why we haven't gotten what we want yet, we need to focus on what we can change within ourselves. It's like hitting pause and really paying attention to our thoughts and actions. When we start feeling lack, instead of trying to distract ourselves, we should sit with it and ask, what's causing this feeling? What's on the other side of it? It's tough, though, because our bodies and minds are used to feeling lack. It's like breaking an addiction. We'll have cravings to go back to our old ways. But if we want things to change, we've got to make different choices, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Our bodies will resist because they're used to the familiar, but we have to push through. If you found this information valuable so far, subscribe to our channel and never miss our new and transformative videos. So, what would an abundant person think? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. It's about rewiring our thoughts and behaviors to match the mindset of someone who's truly abundant. I met this amazing guy at one of our events. He shared his story with me. He'd struggled a lot in the past and even tried to end his life 3 times. When he joined our program, he was flat broke, didn't even have $2 to spare. But fast forward to now, he's worth millions. And what's even more incredible is that he's always giving back. But here's the thing. His journey wasn't just about getting rich. It was about who he became along the way. He had to overcome all his past mistakes, debts, and doubts. Instead of dwelling on his problems, he started asking himself, how would a wealthy person live? And you know what? He started giving away his money as soon as he made it. Why? Because he understood that an abundant mindset means there's no lack, and giving actually helps attract more. And as he grew richer, he also experienced incredible healings. It's like when you heal your heart, your mind follows suit. We've seen this happen so many times. So he basically got an upgrade in life. Now here's the key question. How does an abundant person think? Write it down and practice those thoughts every day. Picture yourself acting, breathing, and smiling like an abundant person would. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So by rehearsing this way, you're literally rewiring your brain for success. Don't just rehearse in your mind. Live it out in your actions too. Walk, talk, and carry yourself like someone who's already living the abundant life. And remember, it's not just about feeling worthy in the morning. It's about embodying that worthiness every moment. So, if you're struggling with feelings of lack, it's time to get off the sidelines and onto the field of life. Start changing your beliefs by repeating positive thoughts until they become automatic. That's how you wire your brain for abundance. We all have beliefs about different things like money, relationships, or even God. These beliefs are usually shaped by what we've been told or what we've experienced in the past. And often, our emotions set the boundaries for these beliefs. Let's say you've been betrayed or hurt in the past, or maybe someone close to you told you that money is bad and there's never enough of it. These experiences leave a strong impression on you and become part of who you are. So, our emotions are like the borders of our beliefs. How we think and feel determines our overall state of being. If you consistently have positive thoughts accompanied by positive feelings, you're said to have a good attitude. But if it's mostly negative thoughts and feelings, it's called a bad attitude. Attitudes, whether good or bad, are short-term states of being. But when you keep up those attitudes over time, they form what we call beliefs. And beliefs are just prolonged states of being that become deeply ingrained in our subconscious. When you string together these beliefs, you create perceptions, which are extended states of being that often shape how we see the world. But here's the catch. Most of the time, we're not seeing things as they truly are. We're seeing them based on our past experiences and memories. So, how do we change these beliefs or perceptions about ourselves and our lives? It starts with making a firm decision with strong intention to change. This decision needs to be fueled by such powerful emotions that they override the old beliefs ingrained in our brains and bodies. When you make this decision with intense emotion, it becomes a defining moment that you'll never forget. You create a long-term memory based on the strength of that emotion, and it's this emotional intensity that helps down-regulate the old beliefs and pave the way for new ones. Essentially, by experiencing the intense emotion of the desired future state, you're giving your body a preview of what's to come. This creates a big impact in the quantum field, setting off a chain reaction toward your desired outcome. When you combine a clear intention with strong emotions, you're essentially envisioning your future as vividly as you remember your past. You need to think about it in your mind and feel it in your heart. This powerful combination can start to shift things in your life because when we change our energy, we change our reality. It's no longer about wishing or hoping for something. It's about actively making changes. To become abundant, we have to overcome our old ways of thinking and behaving, which make up 95% of who we are. This process can be uncomfortable because it means stepping into the unknown and leaving behind what's familiar, even if it's painful. Many people come seeking abundance, healing, or other desires, but what they truly want is wholeness and peace. They want to feel complete. Imagine feeling so whole that you don't even desire abundance anymore. You simply enjoy life as it is. Creating from a place of wholeness rather than lack requires a clear intention and an elevated emotional state. This means tuning into the energy of what you want and feeling it deeply in your heart and mind. By changing your personality, you can change your reality, becoming someone who no longer identifies with old limitations or illnesses. In just 7 days of fully committing to this process, research shows that people's bodies can undergo significant changes at a genetic level, reflecting their shift into a new, empowered state of being. Imagine being in a ballroom where everything looks rich, healthy, and full of love, even though it's just an ordinary ballroom. The reason? People are sending positive signals to their genes before anything even happens. This is called epigenetics. When you feel an emotion before experiencing something, you're priming your genes for success. Think of Jack, for example. He couldn't get his mind to work properly until he had a breakthrough. After practicing and paying attention to his thoughts and feelings, he noticed dramatic improvements in his health. This made him curious about the connection between the mind and body, leading him to study neuroscience and other sciences. Through his research and interviews with hundreds of people who experienced spontaneous healing from serious conditions like cancer and Parkinson's, he discovered some common factors. Firstly, they all believed in an inner intelligence or life force guiding them. Secondly, they realized that mismanaging their emotions and stress hormones contributed to their conditions. Stress is natural in short bursts, like when someone cuts you off in traffic, but chronic stress can lead to disease. Interestingly, humans can trigger the stress response just by thinking about problems, which can become addictive. People may stay in bad jobs or relationships because they're addicted to the rush of stress hormones even though they don't like their situation. When you notice your body and brain feeling low on energy, you might automatically think about something that gives you a jolt, like a frustrating coworker. This can create a cycle where you become addicted to your own negative thoughts without even realizing it. People who recognize this pattern realize they need to make big changes. They need to break free from past emotions and habits. But change isn't easy. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and facing the unknown. To change, they understand they need to be mindful of their thoughts, actions, and feelings. They become aware of their unconscious behaviors and beliefs. This self-awareness is the first step toward change. They also look to role models and ask themselves how they can reinvent themselves. By mentally rehearsing new behaviors and qualities, they prime their brains for change. This process creates new neural pathways, making it easier to adopt new habits and perspectives. Studies have shown that practicing piano for just a few hours a day can physically change the brain in as little as 5 days. Learning something new and engaging in new experiences enriches the brain and helps create a better future. When you focus on something and repeat it, your brain starts creating new pathways. For example, if you mentally rehearse playing scales and chords, your brain actually grows new circuits, just like if you physically practiced. This means that your brain can change by thinking differently. These changes also affect your body. For instance, if you imagine doing curls with lots of intensity, your muscles can get stronger, even if you've never lifted a weight before. So, by reprogramming your brain, you can start acting and feeling differently. During this process, people often lose track of time because they're so focused on their inner thoughts and images. They enter a state where they're deeply connected to their thoughts, almost like entering a different dimension. This dimension, called the quantum field, holds all possibilities and is where real change happens. To manifest what you want, you need to focus on it without doubting or worrying about when it will happen. Doubts only delay the process. Instead, stay focused on your goal and trust that it will come to fruition. If you found value in the information presented in this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more people and spread the message of transformation and empowerment. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest content, filled with insights and practical tools for creating positive change in your life. If you know someone who could benefit from this content, please share the video with them. Together, we can inspire and empower others to live their best lives. Thank you for being a part of our community and for your support in spreading positivity and growth. Let's continue this journey of transformation together.
you.